What if I told you that your eyes might be aging faster than your face, and you can't even see it happening? While you're busy checking for wrinkles in the mirror, tiny changes are already taking place inside your eyes, changes that could affect how clearly you see the world in the next 5 to 10 years. Most people believe aging is something we only notice on the outside: fine lines, dull skin, gray hair. But biologically, aging begins at the cellular level, and your eyes are one of the most sensitive organs in your body. In fact, the tissues in your eyes are more delicate than the skin on your face. They're exposed to light, oxygen, pollution, and screens every single day without rest. Think about it. From the moment you wake up, your eyes are working. You check your phone. You scroll. You read messages. You drive. You stare at computer screens. Even at night, artificial light continues to stimulate your visual system. Unlike your muscles, your eyes rarely get true downtime. Inside your eye, there's a clear structure called the lens. When you're young, it's flexible and crystal clear. It adjusts instantly so you can focus on objects near and far. But as early as your late 30s or early 40s, this lens begins to stiffen. This condition is called presbyopia. It's one of the first silent signs that your eyes are aging, even if your face still looks youthful. And it's not just the lens. The retina, the light, sensitive layer at the back of your eye, is constantly exposed to oxidative stress. Every time light hits your retina, a tiny chemical reaction happens. Over time, these reactions create unstable molecules called free radicals. If they're not neutralized, they damage cells. This process is known as oxidative damage, and it's one of the main drivers of aging in the eyes. The part of the retina responsible for sharp central vision is called the macula. As we age, the macula becomes vulnerable. You may have heard of age-related macular degeneration. It doesn't happen overnight. It's gradual. It starts with small deposits and subtle changes that most people don't notice in the beginning. And here's something many people don't realize: the eyes have one of the highest metabolic rates in the body. That means they consume a lot of oxygen. And where there's oxygen consumption, there's oxidation. Over decades, that oxidative stress adds up. Now let's talk about the outside of your eyes. The skin around your eyes is the thinnest on your body. It's about 4 times thinner than the skin on your cheeks. That's why crow's feet appear early. That's why puffiness and dark circles show up faster. Collagen, the protein that keeps skin firm, declines with age. But around the eyes, that decline becomes visible sooner. And if you live in a place with strong sunlight, like many regions across South Asia and the Middle East, ultraviolet exposure accelerates this process even more. UV radiation doesn't just damage your skin, it penetrates the eye and contributes to cataract formation over time. Cataracts occur when the lens becomes cloudy, scattering light instead of focusing it clearly. Then there's blue light. Every LED screen emits it. Phones, laptops, televisions. Blue light isn't inherently evil, but long-term exposure without breaks can strain the eyes and disrupt sleep cycles. Your retina is particularly sensitive to short wavelength light. While research is still evolving, excessive exposure combined with aging may contribute to cumulative stress. Another silent change happening with age is reduced tear production. Your tear film isn't just water. It has 3 layers: oil, water, and mucus. Together, they protect the surface of your eye. As you get older, especially after 40, tear production decreases. That's why dry eye becomes more common. Burning, irritation, blurred vision, these are not just temporary annoyances. Chronic dryness can damage the surface of the eye. Hormones also play a role. Changes in estrogen and testosterone levels influence tear production and eye surface health. That's why many women experience dry eye symptoms more intensely after menopause. Now imagine this. You look in the mirror and your skin looks fine, maybe a few lines. But inside, your eyes are already adapting to aging. You hold your phone slightly farther away to read. You increase brightness. You blink more often. You rub your eyes after screen time. These are subtle signs. There's also a neurological side to aging eyes. Your brain processes visual information slightly slower with age. Contrast sensitivity declines. That means you may struggle more to see in low light or at night. Driving at night becomes uncomfortable. Headlights seem too bright. Road signs are harder to read. And here's the part most people ignore: blood circulation. The eyes depend on tiny, delicate blood vessels. Conditions like high blood pressure and diabetes can silently damage those vessels long before symptoms appear. Diabetic retinopathy, for example, is a leading cause of vision loss worldwide. It begins with microscopic vessel changes that you cannot feel. Your eyes are not separate from the rest of your body. They reflect your internal health. In fact, during an eye exam, doctors can see your blood vessels directly, something that's impossible in most other organs without surgery. Lifestyle habits accelerate or slow down this aging process. Smoking, for instance, increases oxidative stress and reduces blood flow to the retina. Poor diet, low in antioxidants, deprives your eyes of protective nutrients like lutein, zeaxanthin, vitamin C, and omega-3 fatty acids. Sleep also matters. During deep sleep, your eyes are finally closed long enough to restore the tear film and repair minor surface damage. Chronic sleep deprivation disrupts this recovery process. Even posture plays a role. When you spend hours hunched over devices, you blink less. Normal blinking spreads tears evenly across your eyes. Reduced blinking leads to dryness and irritation, accelerating surface aging. But here's the empowering truth: while aging is inevitable, accelerated aging is not. Many of the changes in your eyes can be slowed, supported, and protected. Small habits compound over time. Wearing UV protective sunglasses outdoors significantly reduces cumulative radiation exposure. Taking screen breaks every 20 minutes helps relax the focusing muscles. Eating colorful, vegetables provides carotenoids that accumulate in the retina and act like internal sunglasses. Your eyes are not just windows to the world. They are living tissues responding to every choice you make daily. In the next part, we'll go deeper into exactly what happens inside aging eyes, the early warning signs you should never ignore, and the science-backed steps you can start today to protect your vision long term. Should I continue? Let's go deeper inside the eye and understand what aging really looks like beneath the surface. Inside your eye, there's a clear gel called the vitreous. When you're young, it has a firm, smooth consistency. It helps the eye maintain its round shape and keeps the retina stable. But as you age, this gel slowly begins to shrink and liquefy. Tiny clumps can form inside it. When light passes through, these clumps cast shadows on your retina. That's what you see as floaters, small moving specks or cobweb-like shapes drifting across your vision. Most floaters are harmless. They're simply a normal part of aging. But a sudden increase in floaters, especially with flashes of light, can signal something more serious like retinal detachment. That's why awareness matters. Now, let's talk about the focusing system of your eye. There's a ring-shaped muscle called the ciliary muscle. Its job is to change the shape of the lens so you can focus on near objects. Over time, not only does the lens stiffen, but the muscle also becomes less responsive. It's similar to how other muscles in the body lose flexibility if they're not used properly. That's why reading small text becomes difficult. It's not just your eyesight getting weak. It's a combination of mechanical and cellular changes happening inside. Another important change with age is reduced pupil size. As you grow older, your pupils don't dilate as widely in low light. This means less light reaches your retina. That's one reason why night vision becomes worse with age. You may notice that restaurants feel darker than they used to, or you need brighter lighting to read comfortably. Contrast sensitivity also declines. This is the ability to distinguish between subtle differences in shades, like gray on white. You may still read the eye chart perfectly during a vision test, but struggle with real-world vision tasks. This is because standard vision tests measure clarity, not contrast or glare sensitivity. Now let's look at cataracts more closely. A cataract is not a film growing over your eye. It's actually a clouding of the natural lens. Proteins inside the lens begin to clump together. Over time, this cloudiness scatters light and reduces clarity. Colors may appear faded. Night driving becomes difficult because of glare from headlights. Cataracts are extremely common. By the age of 60, many people have early-stage cataracts, even if they don't realize it yet. UV exposure, smoking, diabetes, and long-term steroid use can speed up their development. Then there's glaucoma, often called the silent thief of sight. It usually develops slowly and painlessly. It damages the optic nerve, often due to increased pressure inside the eye. In the early stages, peripheral vision begins to narrow, but because the brain compensates. Many people don't notice until significant damage has occurred. This is why regular eye exams are so important, even if you feel your vision is fine. Now let's shift to something you can control: inflammation. Chronic low-grade inflammation in the body affects the eyes too. Diets high in processed sugar and refined carbohydrates increase systemic inflammation. Over time, this damages blood vessels and accelerates retinal aging. Blood sugar spikes are particularly harmful to the eyes. The retina is extremely sensitive to glucose levels, even in people without diabetes. Repeated spikes can stress retinal cells. On the other hand, nutrients act like protective armor. Lutein and zeaxanthin are carotenoids that accumulate in the macula. They filter harmful blue light and neutralize free radicals. Dark leafy greens like spinach and kale are rich in these compounds. Omega-3 fatty acids, found in fatty fish, support tear production and reduce inflammation on the eye surface. Vitamin C supports collagen production, not just in your skin, but in the cornea and blood vessels of the eye. Vitamin E protects cell membranes from oxidative damage. Zinc helps transport vitamin A, which is essential for night vision. Hydration is often overlooked. Your tear film depends on proper hydration. Even mild dehydration can worsen dry eye symptoms. Let's also talk about blinking. On average, a healthy adult blinks about 15 to 20 times per minute. But when staring at a screen, that number can drop by half. Less blinking means tears evaporate faster. Over years, chronic dryness can damage the ocular surface and make the eyes appear older, red, irritated, tired. There's also the impact of stress. Chronic stress increases cortisol levels, which can affect blood flow and immune function. Some studies suggest prolonged stress may even contribute to certain eye conditions by affecting vascular regulation. And what about sleep? During deep sleep, your eyes enter a repair phase. Micro damage from light exposure and dryness begins to recover. If you consistently sleep less than 6 hours, your eyes lose that repair window. You may notice persistent redness, twitching, or sensitivity to light. Even simple habits like rubbing your eyes can have consequences. Aggressive rubbing increases eye pressure temporarily and may weaken the cornea over time. In people genetically predisposed, this can contribute to a condition called keratoconus, where the cornea thins and bulges forward. Now, here's something encouraging. Research shows that lifestyle changes can slow the progression of age-related eye conditions. Large clinical trials have demonstrated that specific antioxidant combinations can reduce the risk of progression in certain retinal diseases. Regular physical activity improves blood flow to the optic nerve and retina. It also helps regulate blood sugar and blood pressure, two major risk factors for eye damage. Sun protection is one of the simplest and most powerful tools. UV blocking sunglasses don't just prevent wrinkles around the eyes. They reduce cumulative lens damage that leads to cataracts. The 20-20-20 rule is another practical strategy. Every 20 minutes, Look at something 20 feet away for 20 seconds. This relaxes the focusing muscles and reduces strain. Your eyes age in layers: structural, chemical, muscular, neurological. But each layer is influenced by daily habits. In the final part, we'll bring everything together into a clear, practical plan. What to watch for, what to start doing today, and how to keep your eyes younger for longer.